Welcome, I'm Aaron Bernstein, and today's lesson is going to be about the major scale. And by the end of this video, you'll understand how a major scale is put together, what half steps and whole steps are, and how to use solfege. Now you'll notice that throughout the lesson, I'm going to use the piano keyboard to illustrate all these concepts, but that doesn't mean you have to have taken a single piano lesson before. The keyboard just lays everything out visually and accessibly. So if you're at your keyboard right now, that's great. If not, you can follow along. So let's begin with what a major scale sounds like. First, here's a passage from one of Clementi's sonatinas. And then going down, here's Offenbach's The Can-Can. That last part was nothing more than a major scale going down. So as you can see, a major scale is just a series of notes that fills out an octave. That means if we start on C, we go all the way to the next C for a total of 8 notes. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now we're going to look at the building blocks of a major scale. So here's a quick review of half steps and whole steps. A half step is formed by 2 piano keys that are as close together as possible. They have no other keys in between them. So as you can see, E to F is a half step, and so are B and C. But half steps can also be between a white key and a black key, like F to F sharp. So these are all half steps. They can be between 2 white keys or a white key and a black key. But notice half steps can never be between 2 black keys, because black keys always have at least 1 white key in between. So 2 adjacent black keys form what we call a whole step because it's 1, 2 half steps. 2 white keys can also make a whole step, F to G, so that's 1, 2 half steps, and also a white key to a black key, E to F sharp, 2 half steps. Okay, so what does all this mean? Well, a major scale is just a particular arrangement of whole and half steps. Now, if you've ever taken music theory classes, you've probably been told that a major scale is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Now that's totally correct, but it means nothing to our ears, and that's why we're going to use solfege. Solfege is an easy learning tool that's been used in Western music for about 1,000 years now. And it's just a series of syllables that we set to every pitch so that we can easily keep track of all those whole steps and half steps. And it goes like this: do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. Now at this point, if you happen to be thinking, singing, don't worry about it. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. If you love to sing, that's great. If not, you can just chant or say the solfege syllables out loud. If you have absolutely no vocal training, join the club. All right, think of do as our home pitch, also called the tonic. As we follow the major scale upward, we can tell where all the whole and half steps are. Do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. As you can see, there are only 2 half steps in a major scale. Mi, fa, the 3rd and 4th notes, and ti, do, the 7th and final notes. Everything else is whole steps. So with a major scale, all you really have to remember is mi, fa, and ti, do. Those are your only half steps. All right, for this lesson, we're just going to look at our first major scale, C major, the one that starts on C. As you can see, it has all white keys, no sharps or flats. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now those are the actual letter names for each pitch. Now we're going to overlay the solfege. C is our home note, the note we start and end on, so we're going to call that do. Do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. Remember that mi and fa and ti and do, the red notes, should be the only half steps. So let's just make sure. Mi, fa, notice how they have nothing in between, so that checks out. Ti, do, and those have nothing in between, so that's also a half step. Everything else is whole steps. So here's how the scale is built. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. But it's so much easier to just remember that everything is whole steps except mi, fa, and ti, do. Now, one last thing. Look at the top of your screen. You'll see the grand staff with the treble clef and the bass clef. And you'll notice that there are no sharps or flats next to the clefs. That's the key signature of our first major scale, C major. And that's exactly what you'd see in any sheet music that's in the key of C major. Just the clefs, no sharps or flats, all white keys. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. You're now ready to tackle all the other major scales, the ones that don't begin on C. And for those, I'd like you to please check out my next two videos, The Circle of Fifths, Parts 1 and 2. I'm Aaron Bernstein, and thank you for joining me.